Hello, my name is GregTech and welcome back to our GregTech New Horizons Season 3. I'm just over by our chemistry stuff, and I'm putting together another large chemical reactor for our Teflon, or polytetrafluoroethylene. And I turned off the large chemical reactor just for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and we completely filled up our tank again. So we are producing quite a bit of oxygen. Obviously, when this is running, going through buckets at a time, we're not producing it quite that fast. Plus, with the solid oxide fuel generator burning oxygen as well. But yeah, if I turn that off for a second, it fills up like really quick. So once the tank underneath fills up, we will be good. It's just filling that up, running permanently at the moment, so it's going through the oxygen really quick. But yeah, so I'm putting together this one, and I got to figure out how I want to go about doing this, because this is kind of annoying with the chloroform, and then you get the hydrochloric acid as well. We can do methane, chlorine, and hydrofluoric acid to skip a step if we don't want to do chloroform, which is just methane and chlorine. So probably go with that would be my guess. But I do have to figure out, like I said, the hydrochloric acid and the hydrofluoric acid. So we're going to need lots of fluorine. And to do that, we're going to need some crops. And I think that is what I'm going to work on right at the moment. At least get that up and running. I have a couple rows of the yellow stone lilies. I think we're good. And then I'm going to do some of the black ones. The black stone lily. I got to figure out where I want to do this. It's a little annoying having this kind of in the way, but I don't know. I thought it would look a bit silly if I had it completely disconnected. So that is what I'm going to work on at the moment, I think. Before I get into the Teflon. All right, we are back, and I've gone ahead and expanded our crop farm a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. I did cut down a little bit on that. Just as long as it's connected a bit, I'm fine with that. I didn't want to just have like a floating platform above it. But yeah, so I have a bunch of black stone lily. And it comes in relatively quickly. But actually, just within the past minute or two, I've got 130 more. So we do get a lot from them. Unfortunately, you do need like 220, I think, per, like, it's 5 black granite for 1 biotype, but then like the biotype is 44, so you need 220 for 4 buckets of fluorine. So even though we have over 1,000 already, it's not that much. I might continue expanding the black granite. Oh, we shall see. Unfortunately, I may actually enable it if possible. I think you can enable it in the configs. Spreading to an adjacent crop. Like if you put that, it will expand to it. Unfortunately, I believe that is actually disabled in configs. to make it harder to breed crops. I don't know. Maybe I will turn that on. It just, like, crossbreeding over here and then trying to spread them is just a bit of a pain. And the problem with doing it down here is that the thing keeps harvesting and they can only spread when they're like full grown. So it makes it just awkward spreading crops, but I don't know, we'll see. I filled in that and then I broke all the rest of the crops and now I'm wondering if I probably should, but okay, anyway. So I need to set up a thing to get the flooring and then the part where we're going to do the chemical reactor. So obviously we're going to get the fluorine and then mix it with the hydrogen to get the hydrofluoric acid. And then we are going to mix that with methane and then chlorine. But we're going to get the extra hydrochloric back. So then I need to figure out how I want to go about doing that. So I kind of need to do the math here. So we do get 12 buckets of chlorine or hydrochloric acid, and then if I electrolyze that, we get the 12 chlorine back. Then we need 4 hydrofluoric acid, which is 1. All right, so it looks like we get more hydrogen back because we're mixing in methane right there. So there's 4 buckets of 4 hydrogen in there and 8 in here. So that's where you're getting the 12 hydrogen. So I'm going to have to probably void the hydrogen, but it does look like we get the chlorine back, which is good. So basically what we're looking at, we need to add the fluorine and we need to, the fluorine and then the methane, but then we're getting, are we getting... Oh, I'm getting 2 things mixed up here. Yeah, I was also looking at silicon dioxide because we're going to get silicon dioxide from our black granite. And that also can be... Yeah, we get 4 silicon dioxide. So we're going to get an absolute ton of silicon dioxide. But then I can actually process that down into... in here somewhere. Not that one. Yeah, if we actually mix that with hydrofluoric acid, we can get silicon tetrafluoride and then mix that with aluminum. We get our raw silicon. And then this aluminum fluoride can get turned back into the fluorine and the aluminum. So that is like its own little round or closed loop as well. So we have a couple... Well, that's semi-closed in that. Okay, so this is going to take a bunch of planning. And unfortunately... as we know, I can't craft up the multi-block electrolyzers and centrifuges yet. So I kind of not sure how I want to go about doing it. Like, I could throw this on the back. I do kind of want to like keep them sort of contained together so I can see what's going. All right, this is going to take me a bunch of planning here. And I would like to get it so I can expand it later. So let me figure this one out. All right, so starting with this, I think what we're going to have to do first is get our hydrofluoric acid. So that is hydrofluoric acid, hydrogen, fluorine. That's easy enough. So, you know what? I'm going to just do this as much as possible in one chemical reactor. So I'm just going to try to stay organized here. Very first thing, hydrofluoric acid. So 2 input hatches and an output hatch. And then I need to put the hydrofluoric acid back in. So we'll do the output hatch there. Set that to hydrofluoric acid. And then back in right there. So that will go there. Like that. I'm just going to leave that outward, facing out. We're going to have to switch it. But I want to remember where that is. So hydrofluoric acid, then the fluorine, and that goes back in there. Now we need to fill this with the fluorine. Question is, how am I going to go about doing that? Obviously, this is going to be produced in one of these ways, biotite. Let's do... Nope. That. So that... All right, I'll set it up like that so I can visualize this. Yeah, it's a pain because I have to use the single block. So I guess what we'll be doing is piping the export busing into an electrolyzer. Or am I going to... You know what? I think I will actually... We'll pipe the black granite into a centrifuge and then biotite the stuff in. We could even use, if I really wanted to, we could actually use the import filters or export filters, which we never actually, I rarely ever use these, but these item filter covers are kind of like a conveyor belt with a filter. Doesn't look like that, but that's kind of how they act. All right. Yeah, let me do that. That could be something a little different. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go on the back of this with a turbo centrifuge. So, and then dump the stuff in the back. Oh, black granite. And last time I took, we had like 3,000 in the EA system. All right, so there is that. That is going to produce silicone and biotite. I had a couple of these item covers. So we could do biotite. Need to turn that off. Nope. Doesn't that? I thought that had a. I thought it had a redstone. All right, let's just stop that for a second. Ah, stop. I know, it's just going through what it had in there. Okay. So that, we'll do that, and then... Wait, was that outputting? That was outputting both, wasn't it? Let me put down the electrolyzer. Yeah, I didn't turn... Can I do it this way? Oh, you can. Nice. All right, that should only be doing that. I don't... Was it? Or, yeah, it outputted the both, didn't it? All right. There. Black granite. And that will go in there. That speeds up after a second. Let's just see what it does. Does that only output into... I swear these covers, they never seem to work how I think they're going to. I mean, it should be able to. All right, why is it putting both in? What is the... Oh! Just ignore me. Just ignore me. Let's do... I mean, to be fair, they look kind of similar. Like, that and that looks similar. All right, let's just ignore that. The whitelist. That should only be putting biotite in there. All right, there we go. Okay, so it was working. It just was, I was being derpy. Okay, and then the other side, we're gonna have the thing. It doesn't seem like there is any redstone. Maybe if we do... Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a redstone. I thought there was. So here's silicon dioxide. Remember getting tons of this from before. And we'll just put it on like this side, I guess. All right. So, biotite there. There. Perfect. And that will just do its thing. And then we have this. So it's like 11. I think we really only need 11, to be honest, because by the time it gets up to 44, with the single block machines, obviously we could craft up way more turbocentrifuges if we want, but this does use 160 EU per tick. I produce, what, 4,000? So I still have to be a little sensible with the power. We haven't expanded it like crazy. I think we will... Once we get nitrobenzene is probably when we'll start expanding it a lot more. Okay, so there is that. What I was gonna do is pump this fluorine directly in here. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, we might want a super tank for our fluorine, because that's probably something we want to store a bunch of. I know it seems crazy. I'm still using like GregTech pipes. It's the Ender IO conduits are much easier, but it is what it is. All right, so I guess I'll do that. Should be up here. I don't know why I put it down there. To put that in there because I'm gonna put this super tank here, I think. I still have to figure out what I'm gonna do with this oxygen. Like I said, probably just gonna void it. And then we have the items. So I really need access to 3 sides of this. The top one will probably be the oxygen. That'll go like that. Output. Output. All right, so that fluorine in there. Underneath will be a storage bus, or yeah, fluid storage. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's... I was a little worried about how I set up the cabling. That's why I was thinking it would be... Oh, I guess I could go back here. No, because that's not going to work, is it? Because I was going to pipe the stuff in here. All right. Well, the cabling doesn't need to be... I can move the cabling around. Okay, so that is going to go there. We will pipe out this into a tank. I really need wireless. One of these tanks, and then a trash can. I think it's time we finally automate trash cans, because I finally got that done. All right, I'm gonna need an assembler with a 0 here, like, as soon as possible, because I'm starting to do stuff like this, and if I have them all over the place, I'm never gonna remember which ones don't require it. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. And then I guess I could just do a conveyor. Or why not? I have conveyors. Instead of doing a conduit, because that would take up more room. And then the items. So what are we going to do with the items? Oh, wait. I would have to do a okay, let me sort this one out. Oh, I want to do this. Okay, so gone ahead and crafted up a couple more item filters because I'm having fun trying to get them to work through a conveyor on there. And these do let items go back through. Hopefully we don't have any lightning strikes. So there. And then we're going to do this on top and then with this. Now, unfortunately, this is going to dump everything out. I wish they didn't do that. We'll do that. And then that. And then into a thing. And then I'm actually just going to do... a drawer controller, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. And then I can hook it up to the back there. Holy cow. Yeah, I can throw a storage bus on there. And then there is that. Magnesium, aluminum, and raw silicon. I actually want to... Holy cow, the thing. I'm gonna... Once I get the storage bus, I'm gonna make sure all the stuff is out of my A system. Right, and then the back here, that's oxygen, we're just gonna void it. Pump. Trash can. Alright, so there, that is running. yeah, once that goes through that, there it goes. Yeah, I don't think we need more than the 11 cells, but there we go. There is that. Now we're getting our magnesium, our aluminum, silicon dioxide, which we're going to deal with, and the silicon, which is good. And we can even set up a thing for the silicon. Now, obviously, this would be much, much easier if we just had the multi-blocks, but we don't. But, all right, so there, that is that. And then we're going to need to hook that up with, yeah, this one under here. I'm going to need to make a fluid export bus. I'm going to need a couple of them. Probably go this way. So I can hook this up to the power. And then I also need the methane. So hydrogen, methane, got a couple things here. All right, storage bus. I'm lost. There we go. So we'll hook this up to the methane, and then we will pipe in. Did I already? Oh, I already. I don't remember doing that. When did I hook up the methane? Oh, it must have been for one of these, right? Actually, I don't remember. Oh, methane. That's right. We're using it to get nitrogen. Yeah, that's right. All right. I'd forgotten I'd done that. All right. I have replaced that with dense cables, so we're good for a little bit. All right. So that hydrogen over there. And then I might I'll go like that. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. Cables are just annoying to craft up at the moment because of the molten. All right. Oh, I forgot to get the rest of my... Whoops. All right, I was going to test it, but okay. So that hydrofluoric acid back in. Methane will go here. Let's put methane. Can I go off? Remember there was a time you couldn't do that. Methane should go in there. Methane should go in there. I don't think there's a problem, but... Oh, output hatch. Whoops. Right, because I put the input hatch there. Or the hydrofluoric acid. Okay, so... And then we need one for chlorine. So two input hatches. And then one more output, or two output hatches. And then however many of... Oh, well, I have one output hatch there. And then however many of those left. Okay, I also forgot that we need to turn it into the poly version, not just that version. So I've gone ahead and crafted up a couple more input hatches and output hatches. Fortunately, this is still kind of manual, this part. At 6. All right. So, I think we should be good here. Oh, I just realized also, dang it, I'm gonna need an input bus. Feels a bit wasteful doing it with HV. I don't need that many. I probably need like 2 or 3, if that. These take a little bit longer. But I do need circuits. How long does this take? Oh, it's 24 seconds. I didn't realize it was that long. Okay, and then I also have the storage bus for that stuff. That we can get rid of. That we can get rid of. Yeah, unfortunately. You have multiple. Hopefully we don't have any clashing recipes either. That would make me sad. Like, I can't see that one conflicting, but you never know. All right, so let's just do... We need at least 2. One. $24. We'll just put them in this one. 1 should do hydrofluoric acid. Yeah, I just realized that might... This hydrogen with like chlorine and stuff might cause an issue. We're gonna have to see. Hydrofluoric acid. All right, we should be... Oh, actually, we can just set all the things, so it's not going to be able to... It won't be able to craft up the wrong thing anyway. Back in the day, that definitely was an issue, but now it's not. All right, so there's our hydrofluoric acid. We'll just do that. And then we got our methane, hydrofluoric acid, and then chlorine. We'll dump the 24 in there. I haven't set up a thing for the chlorine yet. Because we get the chlorine back. All right, so there's the tetrafluoroethylene. We should get it out of these. And there we go. And there is the hydrochloric acid. Now I am going to have to sort out what I'm going to do with that. This can actually go here. And that can go back in input hatch. That will be the oxygen. thought I was prepared here. Oh, we're out of magnetic rods. Holy cow. I did like 64 of those back in the day before we had... yeah, before I had... Wait, I thought... Oh, I guess we have steel rods. Yeah, before we had the extruder. Did I screw something up here? I don't remember where the... No. Yeah, we just, we ran out. There we go. And while that's going, we could throw this on the back of here. Why are we stopped? We're not stopped. It's just slow because of the block centrifuge. Again, I could add a whole bunch more if I wanted to, but it's not like that super important. Also, I have a feeling we're voiding. I have a feeling I've been voiding fluorine. No, I haven't. Of course not. Oh, it's running. Of course. I just turned it all into hydrofluoric acid. What am I talking about? Yeah, I was thinking I had a pump on the back of this that was pumping the oxygen out, but it was also pumping out fluorine. But no, it's an item thing on the back. It's not. All right. Yeah. I was just like, wait, why do we have no fluoride? Of course, I turned it all into hydrofluoric acid. Funny. All right. So that, and then this will be our oxygen. There's our oxygen, and then there is our molten polytetrafluoroethylene, and that's going to go right there. All right. Well, it does look like it worked. Obviously, doing this all on one machine is probably not the most efficient, but yeah, I just wanted to get this set up. Now, I do need to deal with the hydrofluoric acid. Again, annoying because we don't have the multi-blocks. So we'll probably do that one. And then we could save the hydrogen and pump it back in. Maybe we'll switch that. I would have to figure out the math though. I'm like, are we getting enough back for that? We might be able to pump that back in. So I'm thinking we'll pump this out, electrolyzer, pump it back in for the chlorine, and then maybe pump it back in for the hydrogen. So we don't actually need that. I think I did say earlier that that's a closed loop. We just have to add some fluorine. And that was it, I think, wasn't it? Maybe not. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.